So it is currently the first day of March. It's Sunday, March 1st. It has been a couple weeks now since A Land Before Time, which I'm getting my dates all mixed up here. That was the Friday to the Monday, the 13th to the 16th. Yeah, I was just looking at my calendar here being like, "Wait a second. What date was that again?" So yeah, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago was the thing. My Switch not on? Oh, my PS5 is plugged in because I was streaming Final Fantasy VII Remake last night. There we go. That should fix it. I was like, why is there no game? That would explain it. Just making sure that we have audio and stuff. Fine. I guess I should have figured that there would be an update. It's a pretty new game here. So I played this start to finish at A Land Before Time. Did something a little bit different where we did multiplayer games before doing the adventure mode. And doing some late night Mario Tennis Fever. It was actually pretty fun. This game was actually more fun than I was expecting it to be. Maybe not $100 fun, like is the cost of entry to purchase this game, but it's fun and more fun than I thought it would be. I got a kick out of it. So that late night stuff was pretty good. I struggled a little bit with the adventure mode, especially early on, because I was struggling with being sick at that LAN event. And so outside of a 24-hour charity stream event like Extra Life, that was definitely the hardest a LAN event has probably ever been on me, with me feeling as sick as I was. Like, I started streaming the adventure mode for a couple hours, then I just had to, like, conk out and rest my eyes and then get up and go back at it and start feeling better from there. But let me tell you, that LAN event was a little bit of a trial to get through. But I managed to get through the thingamabob. Hope things are going well today, Mortis, by the way. They put out a little thingamabob earlier today, just being like, hey, thanks everyone for, participating, and this is what things are looking like. They put it in their announcements, and I forwarded it to my Discord server as well. Here, this just came out earlier today, where it's like, yeah, almost 2 weeks have passed. 2 weeks have almost passed since wrapping that up. And then this was the message that was put out and stuff. And for the Sweaty Pentathlon, I'd like to give another big shout out to our individual event winning teams. Additionally, congratulations for our overall podium pentathletes for the outstanding performances throughout the weekend. First place, Harmonia, aka the Moist Master. This is the title that's given there for whatever reason. So, yeah, despite being in the state that I was in, as anyone that saw the Land Before Time streams of mine knows, despite that, I still managed to pull through and win their weekend-long event. Just barely with, like, the last event. I was looking at the photo here. Like, clearly some people are blinking and it's not 100% good. Man, this was not the best frame for me, was it? Oh, well. So, yeah, that's what's going on with that. And, the one kind of prize that they have for the Moist Master is that pentathlon of 5 mystery games that everyone has to compete in. They say that they'll let me choose one of the ones for next year. Like, even if I don't go to the LAN event, they'd still let me choose one. I was like, oh, okay. I like running some pretty wacky games sometimes, and especially with me getting into, like, Mega FPS, running a different event each time, and with Fragapalooza coming up here, potentially trying to run, like, multiple games and some funny games. It'd be really funny to try running a really funny game for A Land Before Time next year. So I could get creative with that. I could run something like Mario Tennis Fever. I don't think I will, but dread it, run from it. Canadian Critical arrives the same. That's me now. I officially have the title of Moist Master from from this LAN event after pulling through despite my sickness. So yep, that's what's happening here. That's what I'm becoming. There are milestones to collect medals. When every tournament? I didn't really have a plan. We cleared through the adventure mode, and I know that there's, like, other things in this game that I should showcase. Let's see the trial towers here. I don't know. That sounds like the next most important thing to do, maybe. I don't know. Overcome trials and aim for the top of the towers. Clear floor 10 before failing 3 times. The second player can join you as a shadow character. Press +- on the tower selection screen to add P2. Okay, so I can only start with Tower of Growth, no record. Select a tower to ascend. By clearing the highest floor, you'll unlock the next tower. I was debating about a way to make a Tower of Growth joke, but I couldn't find the best way to phrase it. Play a tennis match against Mario, who has a flame racket. Don't get too close to that fire. First to 5 points. What, you're telling me that I can change my controls here? Or... Oh, it's just press A, okay. I don't know what the point of, like, scanning through them is. First to 5 points. Run up your opponent with a fever shot counter. Okay. I've either... I think it's a loose bit of tomato. I was about to say either a loose bit of tomato or a dog hair. hopefully the former in my mouth. I'm pretty sure it was the former. Because we currently have a... Oh, interesting. 3 hearts there. Because we currently have a doggo that's visiting who's upstairs that might end up, like, popping down here at some point. And he sheds a lot of fur. So if you see a doggo randomly walk into this room, that's why we have a bit of a visitor for today. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's the lob. So that means the drop shot is this one.
1-0.
Yeah, CPUs struggle with drop shots, so drop shot is what I gotta do here. So yeah, that's kind of the plan today. And I have maybe I can, like, hold on.
2-0.
There. I'm trying to finish off some stuff coming up here because I have a lot of games ongoing right now, and there's a couple things that might be going on in the next couple weeks here. This next week, there's something that I'm potentially going to be adding, and the week after that is Ghost of Yote Legends, which is like the co-op mode for Ghost of Yote that I'm going to be playing with one of my Taekwondo instructors, interestingly enough. Probably won't do it, like, right when it comes out, but just, you know, at some point, coordinate between us. Oop. Okay, yeah, I need to not let it bounce and stuff.
4-0.
There, the drop shots get the CPUs. So there's a couple things being added. So I've been going really hard on gaming this past weekend here. On Friday, I did a super long session of both Pokemon XD and Pokemon Legends ZA. I made, I think, some good progress in that. It feels like I both made next to no progress and did a lot at the same time. Because, like, most of what I did was just, like, gaining levels and getting the TMs and stuff that I needed, not necessarily actual story progress. Play tennis match with banana peels at your feet. Peels drop after every fever shot counter. Okay. So I did that a whole bunch on Friday. Yesterday was a 12-hour stream. That was 6 hours of Monster Hunter Wilds with my family, and I ended up beating the game, like the full campaign, not just the first half, like I had beaten before. First to 5 points. And then ended up playing some more and beating the Final Fantasy boss from that game, Omega, which took us 3 tries because holy crap is that boss ever hard. And my family was still interested in playing more after I'd already been playing the game for like 6 hours. I was like, I don't know how you could do that with Monster Hunter here. Like, I like it. I like playing it with family and friends. I don't think that I can be on that much of a grind with this game on my own here. Oop, something like that. So I had to switch it up, and I figured since I had just done Final Fantasy with Monster Hunter Wilds, why not do more Final Fantasy? Because one of my main ongoing playthroughs right now is Final Fantasy VII Remake. And considering that Final Fantasy VII Remake is Midgar alone, if I were playing like the original Final Fantasy VII, and wow, just hitting the net there, and trying to beat Midgar, yeah, I could have done it last night. But Remake, with the amount of padding that it has to justify making an entire game out of Midgar alone, took me a bit longer than expected. I got 6 hours into that. I went until 2 in the morning last night. And, oop. Come on. Wow. Do the thing where Bob. There it is. And I'm, like, right towards the end. I'm in what's probably the final dungeon. I'm in the Shinra building. We're ready to, like, go bust out and motorcycle away and conclude the Midgar stuff. But I was like, you know, there's still 2 in-game chapters left. And, well, knowing how much padding Remake adds to the mix that wasn't in the original Final Fantasy VII, I don't really want to go until, like, 4 a.m. find out that there's still more to do because, like, this final segment is significantly longer than it would have been in the original game. So I was like, you know what? Let's just say that, you know, the next stream is the last one and wrap it up. So I didn't quite beat Final Fantasy VII Remake. But I'm pretty darn close. There should only be, like, 1 stream left. So, I did that. And now we're doing Mario Tennis Fever to, like, finish this off by showcasing the side modes. If I ever run this at, like, one of the LAN events that I attend, then I'd probably want to, like, unlock all the things, which maybe is something that I would just do on my own time. I don't know. New racket, Inky Racket, creates ink splotches where the ball bounces and cover ball is hit. So yeah, this weekend my goal was to go hard on games because the game situation's kind of crazy. I think I've done some pretty good work there. Big progress with both XD and Legends ZA. like co-op ring shot on Icy Core, aim for rings while sliding around on the ground. I've almost beaten Final Fantasy VII Remake now. I have beaten Monster Hunter Wilds along with the Final Fantasy stuff that's going in that Final Fantasy playlist. I'll finish this off. Like, that was the goal of this weekend, is like finish things off, be productive in terms of this game queue, and make things a little bit less crazy. So yeah, I think this is gonna be a good weekend for that. Score points by hitting balls through rings. Smaller rings give more points. That's kind of what's going on here. How did I not get that red one? There we go. Oh. Here we go. How the hell am I gonna get 400 with 10 seconds left? That doesn't make any sense. Fever shots give more points or something or other? ×2? There's no friggin' way. Oh, trigger bonus time. What? Hold on. I have to read that in a hot second here. Oh. Okay, what? I did not have the allotted time that it showed me. I clearly had a whole lot more than the time that it showed me. Okay. Oh, there's like more balls? Oh, there's multiple. Okay. I see. Yep, this is a whole lot more feasible now than... Ow! My face! Okay. Oop. There it is. But yeah, the day Octopath Zero starts is the day I dance. And that's one that I've been meaning to start for a while now. But it's like, with a lot of these other plans, it's like, how does this work? It's probably going to be the next thing I start after I beat Pokemon XD, is what things are currently looking like. We're not doing it March 25th because I'm going to be on a plane that day. I don't think that's going to start during March. So, here's essentially what things are looking like at the moment. So, boop, display capture 2. This is what we're at here. I'll knock this off, like, today here. I don't know whether I want to consider myself as properly having started Xenosaga Episode 2 or not, or whether I want to save that for later. I did the intro during A Land Before Time, just because I was like, oh, here's a unique place to do the intro of the game alone, and, you know, it's, like, 14 years earlier than the actual events of the game, so it's kind of self-contained, and we get to showcase just the intro at this LAN event. It wasn't meant to be, like, I'm properly starring the playthrough now. But, you know, may as well seize on the opportunity for novelty, unique venue, and stuff like that for intro, so that was my thought process there, so... Maybe it's ongoing, maybe not, I don't know. I count these as one unit. I'm playing them both at the same time, like grinding, like literally. When I'm streaming Pokemon XD, I've got this game open on a smaller screen. I'm switching the two controllers and I'm making progress on them both because it's going to take me forever if I do them one at a time here. So I just count this as one unit, Pokemon. One game there. This, one more stream. I'm almost done. And then there's technically like the Yuffie side story episode integrate that I can do sometime later. I don't have to do it immediately. I could do it start to finish at a LAN event, and I kind of like that idea. This, done. Might still happen sometimes, just because, like, opportunities to play with family, but for all intents and purposes, done. This, as long as I beat it before Mega LAN at this point. Maybe I'll do some of it later tonight. And have we ever taken Assassin's Creed Valhalla that seriously as a playthrough in months anyway? It's one of those things that just happens once in a blue moon on the side, so let's not consider that as a major unit. So in terms of, like, actual major units, one major unit, this one more stream and it's done. This is maybe happening, and then one side thing. But, this coming week, in 3 days, I guess, on Wednesday here, I might just be starting something new here. Super secret what it is. March 10th, Ghost of Yotei Legends. I'm probably not going to start that right on March 10th. Like, that's the multiplayer game. That's the co-op mode. So that's not going to happen right as it releases because I want to wait until, like, there's a good opportunity to play with others. So I might play with Anima, because I know Anima plays Ghost of Yotei. And there's a good chance I'm going to play it with one of my Taekwondo instructors. Because him and I chat about, like, the Ghost of games all the time. He loves them. So, I'm probably going to play them with him. And it'll probably be, like, on a weekend or something like that. So that might be one of those things that happens on and off throughout the month. But isn't really, like, adding a new full playthrough to the mix or anything. But maybe I'll use that as my opportunity to practice the game again and beat, like, the super boss of the game, Takazo the Unrivaled. But I do want to do that at some point, so maybe I'll use that as my excuse to get back into Ghost of Yotei and beat the super boss that is apparently so tough that everyone's rage quitting. Yeah, that's essentially what's coming up here. So I'm trying to knock stuff off because there's going to be 2 things that are added coming up here. One of which is just going to be, like, a side thing and not going to be all that active anyway, but, you know, it's still a thing that's being added. And the other of which is going to be like an actual game playthrough that's probably going to be going on for a little while, because March 4th of every year, I usually do something start to finish. I'm working full-time nowadays, and I don't think I have time on Wednesday to be doing something fully start to finish, but I have time to start something, and, you know, I've gotten a little bit of an itch to play a certain series again, let's say. So I might just start that, and it'll, you know, I'll probably beat it before the next game and said series comes out. Little hint there. So the way that I'm seeing it right now is Yote is going to be like a side project. The thing that I'm planning on starting on Wednesday is going to take over this slot right here. And then when this is dealt with, Octopath Zero is probably going to take over this slot. That's what I think makes sense right now. That's the plan that I have in my head as it stands. And I think that I'm halfway through Pokemon XD, for reference, is the case. Yeah, I was thinking about what I want to do for that there. 2 games this year, and I added to the stress I do feel about it. No worries there. Like I've mentioned before, I'm listening to Octopath Zero music like all the time, and I do genuinely think that it's a game that I would really get a kick out of. And like I have it installed, and part of me is eager to play it. Part of me would probably get a kick out of it starting it right now. It'd just be too much for my brain to process with so much stuff going on, but I probably would genuinely enjoy it. And man, it's like one of the best game soundtracks I've heard in a long, long time. It's really, really quite good. So, I am looking forward to playing that, but I want to be a little bit more prepared and stuff like that. Yeah, that did definitely affect my enjoyment of 2, no doubt about that. And if I go into 0 with that mentality, it is definitely going to affect, like, how I view the game. And, especially after the sour taste I got in my mouth at the end of Octopath 2 with the whole Galdera situation. So I want to go into it like, whew, I can't wait to, like, really sink my teeth into this. So I'll clear some other thingamabobs here. At least you don't have to start God of War until the remakes. And yeah, even then it might be the kind of thing where it's like, maybe I'll do it like after it's been out for a while, depending on what other things are going on. Like, I don't want to rush through some other things here. I say as I'm rushing through, like, Final Fantasy VII Remake. You know. Forgot we're both March babies. Yep, indeed. But yeah, love Octopath Zero too much to wish that upon you. Octopath Zero made Galdera make sense in it. Okay. Unlike 2, where it's just like, oh yeah, this is here, I guess. Play a doubles multi-ball match. You can leap to previously unreachable balls with the effect of the golden dash racket. So anyway, be the first 5 points, reach a... Is this Waluigi pinball? Oh my god, this is awesome! This is a chord in this game? Oh my god, I love this. This is good. What? Oh, there's multiple balls. This is a game mode in this game? You can play tennis where it just doesn't end and it's a whole bunch of multiple balls. Oh my god, this would actually be so much fun to run at a LAN event. Ugh. This is actually pretty cool. I actually quite like this. There we go, did it. Play so much Waluigi Pinball and Mario Kart DS, same. That's actually kind of a cool game mode, I like that. New color, Luma. Galaxy denizen who floats around the court returns are extra strong if hit right when the ball bounces. Alright, even the odds. Play a 1v2 tennis match wielding the shadow racket. Use your racket to give yourself a doubles partner. Okay, I can do that. But yeah, anyway, for that one might be a dog hair or a loose mustache hair. That was probably a dog hair. I have like dog hair all over all over my hoodie now. It is everywhere. It's gonna get even more everywhere if he comes and visits here. The horse we all call him. His name's Harry. And his owner's visiting right now. He's a massive dog. He apparently he weighs 135 pounds. It's like yay big from the ground. He's a big dog. And now there's dog hair everywhere here because he was like leaning on me and snuggling up and stuff. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, for March Thingamabob this year, early on in the channel's history, I was doing the Sly Cooper games, the 1 to 3. I did those start to finish for 3 years there. Oop. And, you know, those are done. I have had the thought before about, like, replaying them, but, you know, there's other stuff that I want to get to rather than doing something I've already done twice, so maybe the day will come if I'm feeling spicy, but maybe not yet. And then, I forget what I did for some other years. I think one year was Triangle Strategy just because it happened to come out, like, right at that point. Which was amazing, because Triangle Strategy is a freaking fantastic game, even though it has, like, the stupidest name ever. So Triangle Strategy was one. Fire Emblem 7 was another one, where I was like, oh, let's do the Lyn story start to finish. And just count it as, like, you know, beginning of my Fire Emblem 7 playthrough, essentially. But, you know, nowadays, especially when I'm working full-time, I get home from work, have some food, and then I'll have, like, maybe 2 or 3 hours of stream. I don't know if I own any games that I have, like, any strong attachment to that I can beat in like 2 to 3 hours. So it's like, you know, I may as well just start something, have something ongoing. So I've been thinking about that, and it's like, huh, what are games that are like near and dear to me that I haven't actually played through on this channel? I think I made a list actually of what I've done each year just to like itemize things and get plans and stuff. What channel did I put it in here? I put it in some channel in this Discord server that I used to just like, this private Discord server for myself that I used to just, like, take notes and stuff. Yeah, so didn't do anything in 2018 because that was my first year starting out. 2019 was Sly. 2020 was Sly 2. 2021 was Sly 3. Yeah, 2021 was Sly 3. 2022 was Triangle Strategy because that's just when it happened to come out. 2023 was Fire Emblem Blazing Sword. Fire Emblem 7, my first Fire Emblem game. Doing start to finish Lyn's story because that worked out well, and then starting that there. And then 2024 was Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeons. That was just starting the playthrough. It wasn't doing it start to finish. This is kind of similar with like Fire Emblem. And then 2025 was Snoopy versus the Red Baron. I think I did that start to finish in like one sitting. I think I had the time then. I don't actually remember. Let's find out. What are my playlists here? Snoopy, if I look that up. Yeah, that was just a one-off kind of sitting. So last year I did do a start to finish one-off kind of sitting thing. But for the past 3 years before that, it's just been starting something and accepting that it's not going to be start to finish that one day. So. Meh. Meh, meh, meh. Appreciate the 25 bits there, Anima.
Excuse me, sir. Do you have a permit to use that racket? If not,
I not
I
no
am gonna
permit.
have to speak to your manager.
Hi, monkey. How's it going, Anima? Yeah, Triangle Strategy was absolutely a slow burn, but masterpiece. And I can absolutely see how that kind of game would be boring for a lot of people when, like, the cutscenes are, you know, very bare basics with, like, the HD 2D kind of thing. Like, I never minded the cutscenes in the Octopath Traveler games because it's, like, they're usually pretty short and get right to the point. Triangle Strategy, the cutscenes and the politics are basically, like, half the entire game, essentially. So, you know, there's a lot of cutscenes of just people talking to one another and not really all that much going on in the environment around them. And so much talking and so much political stuff. But it's so fascinating and so well made. And like, I still feel like it might be the most realistic game that I've ever played in terms of like character motivations for like the different factions. You know, like you don't have like the super generic evil kind of for the sake of being evil characters. I mean, you don't have that in a lot of games, but still, like in terms of like real life political power and what things can get you that power, like the salt, for example. Yeah, or like the freaking church salt mine. Triangle Strategy is awesome. I freaking love that game. It's probably my favorite of the HD 2D games, honestly. Fantastic video game. But anyway, point is, last year I did something start to finish on that day, but the past 3 years before that point, I just started something. And I'm honestly thinking this time around, the better option is starting something rather than trying to do something start to finish here. Is kind of what I'm thinking. Wait, also, hope things are going well today, Gooseblad, Anima, and all that stuff. I'm kind of rambling about Triangle Strategy here. Wah. Oh, here we go. Yeah, let's see here. I've seen the Magna Carta. I've seen the Eye of Horus. I've been flipping bricks for Mansa Musa since before y'all even became a Type 1 civilian. And Lancer, how's it going? But yeah, okay, but still feeling foggy, but definitely a bit better. Well, at least there's improvement there. There really is going on a stream craze. Yeah, I was just rambling about how I'm trying to finish things off. Banana racket scares banana peels where the ball bounces, and after a fever shot counters, don't slip. Because I'm trying to finish things off before I start something new on Wednesday coming up here. But yeah, I'm offended. I love Triangle Strategy. What, about me saying that, like, I get how some could find it boring? I'm just saying that as someone that loves Triangle Strategy. I guess the issue with Triangle Strategy is that the leveling system, where if you're even one level above the opponent and you kill them, 5 EXP, eat shit. Yeah, but it's designed in such a way that it expects you to be a certain level, and it tailors the challenge around that, and actually gave me, like, battles that really challenge me. So there's no over-leveling, there's no being under-leveled, because if you're under-leveled and you get, like, kills, it gives you EXP so fast. So it keeps you right around the level that it expects for, like, a very tailored kind of experience. Like, that was something that I liked about the Fire Emblem Three Houses Ashen Wolves DLC, for example, where even though I didn't have as much room for leeway for, like, my character's levels and builds and stuff like that, because the developers knew exactly what I was going into and what my options were into the battle, they could tailor an extremely difficult experience knowing that it's possible for that specific setup, as opposed to, like, the divergence that could come with a full playthrough of it's like, oh, who knows what the player has by this point? A whole variance of different options. So I do kind of, like that. You're starring new It's a Surprise. Gotta go along, guess I only had a minute to stop in. Take care there, Kuzma. Play a Piranha Plant Challenge as Koopa Paratroopa and use those fast-charging lobs to your advantage. And Xenolog tried to do that, but in the worst way possible. Agreed. Like, my god. Xenolog is another example where it's like, they know exactly what you're dealing with. Well, not quite. They know exactly what you've got at your disposal and tailor the difficulty around that. But your skills from the main game carry over to the Xenolog, and if you're playing on Maddening and you don't have good skills, or the freaking chapter where if you don't make a Leer dodge tank, you're actually just screwed. It's so dumb, man. Don't let your opponent return the ball. You'll fail if they return it 3 times. Wow, you suck, Baby Peach. But yeah, but the way I play SRPGs, like to be a few levels above my opponent as a safety net, is incompatible with triangle strategy. Yeah, fair enough. But I do like the handcrafted difficulty. Handcrafted difficulty of something like triangle strategy or Ashen Wolves, Fire Emblem Three Houses, that I like. Handcrafted difficulty of something like Fire Emblem Engage Fell Xenolog. Gross, keep that away from me. I hate that so much, you know. That is way too nasty. Boop. Boopity bop. Am I getting... Wah! Emails about now! Work stuff! I can deal with that tomorrow! Alright. Boop. So yeah. Piranha Plant Lob Challenge. Success. Score 10 points. So I've been, like, really trying to consider. Like, I've been looking across my game shelf being like, what the hell can I do? What would be fitting at this point? What was something that I would like to do? You know, and I didn't see anything directly on my shelf that I wanted to do. But I did eventually gravitate towards one idea that I've been thinking about starting here for a while. Like, not in the sense of, like, I want to start it ASAP anytime soon, but one of those things that's like, I want to do it one day. And maybe now's the time to do it. Play a tennis match where all players wield swerve rackets. Keep an eye on the ball's curving trajectory. So I'll give you some hints here. This is a game that I played on emulator in junior high school and really quite enjoyed, but thanks to the limits of emulators there, with you having to, like, re-download it all the time, and difficulties that I had with, like, transferring my save files from my iPhone to my computer, I kept on not having my save data backed up. Mortis knows what it is. And I kept on having to restart the game over and over again. So it's a game that I really, really liked and really enjoyed, but I never beat it. And I've always wanted, for years, for like the past decade and a half, whatever, since junior high school, I've always wanted to beat it. Oh my god, you know exactly what it is. Be the first to 5 points, but I'll have a sharp curve while the effect is active. So I figured maybe this year, rather than playing something that, you know, I've beaten and know exactly what happens that I absolutely love, maybe instead I should play something that I love and always get a kick out of and enjoy a lot, but I've never actually beaten before. And that can be, you know, what I do for myself in the sense of, like, I finally beat it and truly get that experience under my belt. Fate's Rev is never happening. And then, frickin', what is it called again? Oh my god, I've already forgotten the name of it. Fortune's Weave. And then I do want to do Fate's Revelations after that, because it's been a while. Like, I was actually considering that recently, looking at, like, how long of a gap was it between Birthrights and, like, Conquest? And then, what are things looking like for starting Revelations? And if I look at the Fates playlist here on YouTube. Birthright, I played April 2021 to July 2021. Wow, only within a few months. Imagine a Fire Emblem playthrough not taking me very long like that. So it was in 2021, and then I started Conquest in October 2023, so like a little bit over 2 years later. And I finished it that same October day, 2024. That one took me a year on and off, because I was really taking my time with it. That turned into basically Assassin's Creed on this channel, where I'm like, in no rush, and I'm just taking my time with it and really enjoying it and taking it in and stuff like that. So, the time span between those playthroughs was a little bit over 2 years. And we're judging by that kind of time frame being like, that means that Revelations is due for like a little bit over 2 years after after that. Yeah, we're over that already. I do acknowledge that. But at the same time, dude, Sacred Stones is a really fucked up game. I genuinely have no idea how that game got an E rating. Oh, maybe I never got to like the super dark bits growing up. Fire Emblem is how I found you, so always a joy to see you play Fire Emblem. And I have had a little bit of a Fire Emblem itch lately. Like, I was talking about this during one of my recent Final Fantasy VII streams, where it's like, you know, I kind of like having my two main things being like, here's an action game and here's a turn-based game with Pokemon. But man, it's been a little while since I played Fire Emblem. I'm kind of getting the itch. I really like that feel of, you know, just hop in, do like 2 maps worth. Each map is like an hour. Go through, like, plan out my builds, use my spreadsheets. Like, it's one of my favorite things on this channel. So, like, I was getting a little bit of that itch lately, and I was thinking about it. And, realistically, as long as there's not 3 houses. Realistically, if I started Fate's Revelations, like, right now, as early as, like, Chapter 6, there are children who are eaten by spiders. Oh, is that, like, the first monster mission kind of stuff? Is that, like, where we get loot? Or is there children who are eaten by spiders? Fortune's Weave, I swear to God, if you go full 3 houses, watch, there's gonna be 4 routes with the 4 main characters. So, how long it is until playing Fate's Revelations, the biggest factor for that is really going to be how long is Fortune's Weave.
4-0.
Sweet. But yeah, realistically, another dog here, because it's all over my clothes here. And then a 5th secret route, probably. But yeah, realistically, if I started Fate's Revelations right now, I'd be like a third or a fourth of the way through it by the time that Fortune's Weave is out. So, I need to play Fate's Revelations when there isn't a new Fire Emblem game coming out around the corner. Because, you know, I don't really want to have 2 ongoing at once. But if we're talking a shorter Fire Emblem game like Sacred Stones, considering Fortune's Weave hasn't had a release date announced past 2026, there's no way it's super soon. Which means, like, something like Sacred Stones fitting that in before Fortune's Weave, easy peasy, why not? And I have that Fire Emblem itch now, so may as well. So that could be wedged in, and then do Fortune's Weave, and then the immediate next Fire Emblem playthrough. Tell you what, the immediate next Fire Emblem playthrough is gonna be Fate's Revelations. It's been long enough, I recognize that. No Radiant Dawn or anything like that until Fates is done. We'll finish off Fates. But I can't start Fates right now because we're probably not going to be done with it before the end of the year with how much time I'm going to take for it, especially considering that'll be the playthrough where I do all the DLC and showcase everything and make freaking every child unit in the game when there's so many characters. You know, it's going to take me a while, that game. That's going to be quite the long haul. Like, Fate's Conquest, for reference, was a 115-part series, so there's a good chance. There's not a good chance. I know this is going to be the case. Fire Emblem 3 Houses is currently my longest, like, singular game playthrough. Like, my longest singular playthrough, start to finish, is freaking Assassin's Creed Odyssey at 185 parts. But, you know, start to finish, like, 1 playthrough. Fire Emblem 3 Houses is 4 playthroughs, because, like, 4 routes. And it's at 305 parts. So, longest 1 playthrough, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Longest series on any game on this channel, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, 305 parts. Considering we're at 200 parts now for Fire Emblem Fates, and it was 115 parts for Conquest, and Revelations is only going to be longer, Fates is going to become my new longest game playthrough ever on this channel, and I don't know if it's ever going to be beaten. So I do have to be prepared for that long haul. Watch Fortune's Weave be longer than that somehow. So I do need to be prepared for that. So if Fortune's Weave wasn't coming out, I would probably do Fate's Revelations instead of instead of Sacred Stones, is what I'd honestly do. But because of Fortune's Weave coming out this year, I have to plan accordingly. And so I kind of want to do Sacred Stones, and then Fortune's Weave, and then sometime after that, maybe after taking a little bit of a chill pill, then we play Fate's Revelations. So, maybe Fate's Revelations will start late this year. Maybe it'll be early next year. I don't know. Or maybe it won't be until like 2029 after Fortune's Weave takes 300 hours, you know? Yeah, Fortune's Weave is engage length and fantastic. I would love that. Play a tennis match, relay an ice racket, freeze the court so your opponent slide. So it's like chunky. It's got a lot of content, but not freaking overwhelming. Keep on playing the same game over and over again for minor differences. You know, get so sick and tired of it by the end. Like engage is kind of the perfect length in that sense, you know. My teammate sucks. Is the case here. But yeah, that's the plan when it comes to Fire Emblem. Also, let's see here. All of which are like 100 hours because fuck you. Yeah, imagine. There's a calendar and you can't glitch out of it. Yep. I know there's 100 hours, 50 to 60 of them are cutscenes and dialogue. Yeah, that's the way it's gonna go. God Three Houses' calendar system is so bad because it can't fucking decide if it wants to be Conquest or Birthright in terms of how it plays. Yeah, essentially. Or not Fire Emblem, or Persona in terms of how it plays outside of like the outside of the actual gameplay. It really, really wanted to feel Persona-like with the calendar system, and it just missed everything that made the calendar actually good in Persona. But yeah. And hello, Frecky didn't get to see the end last night. Did you finish a remake? I got until the second last chapter, and it was 2 in the morning. And I was like, I don't know how long this is going to be, especially compared to, you know, the original Final Fantasy VII. This dungeon might be a decent bit beefy, and let's say it's 2 hours. I don't want to be up until 4 in the morning. So I was like, you know what? Next stream is the last one. But let's chill out for now. There, sweet. We're just done with the multi-route shit in Fire Emblem in general. The best thing Engage did was be a singular linear story. Yeah, that is more than fair. So that's my plan. But like, the Fire Emblem playthroughs are like one of my favorite ones here for like, you know, plan out these builds, have a whole team of characters that I'm doing all this stuffs with, have some cool spreadsheets and plans, and I already have a Sacred Stones and a Radiant Dawn spreadsheet. Like, I already have them planned out for the day that, wow, for the day that I would play them. I've had them ready for a while, honestly. Oop. There, quick drop shot. Also, Engage had post-game with the trials. This is true. I didn't engage too much with that. But yeah, it's just been a while since, like... I haven't actually checked it. How long has it been since the last Fire Emblem playthrough? Like, my brain is telling me that it's been a little while, but I don't actually remember how long it's been. The last one, I'm not counting Shadows, looking at this here. Let's not count Fire Emblem Shadows. The last one would have been Binding Blade, right? That I did? And that one went until, June 2025. So, so until June of last year, and that was like just the last little smidges, essentially, of doing like the trials at the end that I was showcasing at like LAN events and a little bit after, I believe. So, I think exactly how that went. I don't know. Let's say that it basically went until April or something like that. So, it's been close to 10 months that I've been starved of Fire Emblem, you know? I love doing Fire Emblem on this channel. Even though I know Fortune's Weave is coming later, something like Sacred Stones is short, man.
3, 1.
It's not a long game. Shadows is Fire Emblem in name and art only, true. I'm counting Shadows, if only because Bunny Girl. Alright, yeah, then I guess my last Fire Emblem playthrough on this channel was not too long ago. In that case.
4,
Did. So that was my thought process. So, I was like really trying to carefully consider, what's fitting for this year? And the idea of something that I do genuinely really quite love, but never actually beat, and I can finally take the opportunity to say like, hey, I finally beat that game that I played over and over and over again 15 years ago. You know, it has a story to it. I like to play games that are dear and dear to me each March there, have like some sort of a story to do with like my gaming life. And that one definitely does. It scratches the itch that I'm looking for. It's a game that I can fit in before Fortune's Weave, unless they announce that it's coming out like a couple months from now. Next week with some Nintendo Direct or something. Volcano Racket creates a crater where the ball bounces that shoots volcanic bombs. Hit players will catch fire. And overall, I just kind of thought this sounds like a good choice, you know? Return challenge versus Bowser Jr. Play a return challenge against Bowser Jr., who's curving top spin shots, catch opponents off guard. So that was my thought process. I thought it sounded like a good idea. You know, turn the ball to your opponent's side. They won't hit back, so aim anywhere. But I do recognize that this is holding me back from getting other things underway that I've wanted to get the ball anywhere on your opponent's side. Holding me back from other things that I want to get like properly underway in the near future, like Octopath Traveler 0, or like Xenosaga Episode 2 that's like sort of ongoing, but sort of isn't. You know? I do realize that adding more onto my plate is holding me back from that. But like, I think it's a fitting option. I would probably get a lot of fun out of it, and the whole point is like, let's add something that I know that I freaking love, you know? So, I think I'd get a bit of a kick out of that. No! So that's my thought process. It sounded like a pretty good idea in my head. No drop shot. Oop. Like this. So that's where I'm at. And we'll finally do Fate's Revelations when Fortune's Weave shows how long it exactly is. And there's also technically Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes, but at this point, I think I'm pretty content to say one playthrough is enough, I think. 1.5 playthroughs technically when I reload the save to get the Byleth route or whatever the heck I did. Maybe Solidarity. Play a tennis match as 3 babies working together to take down that big meanie Bowser. So, you know, Fates, I'm not going to forget about that. 3 Hopes, I think it's okay if we just don't, and I instead take that time to play other better games like Sacred Stones or Radiant Dawn, Path of Radiance, stuff like that. I think people would also enjoy seeing more anyway. You know, that's what I'm thinking here. Makes sense. Oi. Star shot. Kind of surprised they missed that there. That's funny because every time I talk about Fire Emblem on this channel, I bitch and complain, but I swear I like Fire Emblem. That's also just like the average Fire Emblem fan 101. You know, it's kind of the process of being a Fire Emblem fan. In a certain way, you know. So, you know, boop. Fever shot the thing. Oh, Fever shot the thing. Wow. Uh-oh. I don't know. Drop shot. Oh, he got it there. Come on, drop shot. It doesn't always work for me. Oh, it is working. It's just that it just shows the visual effect of the thing there. Okay. Boy. Boozer, darn you. Come on! There, geez. There, drop shot is definitely the best when it comes to dealing with the AI. It is the most consistent way that I get points here. At Harmonia, how else am I supposed to experience a story of 3 hopes that was supposed to fix the rushed story of 3 houses, but was also rushed? We're gonna have to rely on Fortune's Weave for that. Is what's probably gonna be the case. What did he die from? Natural causes? What happens now? Now that he's out of HP. What is it? Oh, he's just slower. That's how it works in singles. How is he still getting this? Jeez. Watch Fortune's Weave also be rust? God, don't tempt fate. Don't even joke about it or it'll happen. Congratulations, you reached the top. New character Goomba, a trusty if easily defeated minion who's stepping up to the core. Racket and mouth. So silly, man.